Welcome to Ahead of the Times, where our news hits harder than an NFL running back at a family barbecue.
On today's episode, we discuss taxis that take you to space. But will they go to Brooklyn?
Ebola goes viral. Is it a breakout year for outbreaks?
Black actress accused of having sex in a car. Racial profiling? Or is she dogging responsibility?
For the latest on the Scottish referendum, we go to our senior No Means No correspondent, Ola.
As you may know by now, Scotland voted no and is still a part of the UK. The result led to Alex Salmond stepping down as First Minister, though Salmond was always facing an upstream battle. David Cameron promised to give the different countries of the UK more power anyway, so my prediction, Wales will ruin it for everyone. For the latest on space news, let's go to our senior Sheldon from Big Bang Theory correspondent, Toby.
NASA awarded 2 contracts to run, quote, space taxis to get astronauts to the International Space Station, though they will take you via Mars to run up the fare. Boeing will receive $4.3 billion and SpaceX $2.6 billion, though Uber's also offered to disrupt the space taxi industry, so you can get to the space station for $12 since its drivers own their own shuttles. The move will eliminate dependence on Russia to get to the International Space Station, which is important because of political reasons and because they keep annexing the armrests. My prediction, in 30 years, your rich friends will annoy you by spamming you with their moon selfies, and you will reply with photos of your own full moon. For the latest on disease in West Africa, we're going to our senior, I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole correspondent, Ola.
In recent times, we've had one of the worst outbreaks of Ebola on record. It's also one of the worst outbreaks on CD, but it always sounds better on record. It was previously deemed incurable until white people got ill. Then suddenly an experimental cure became available, leading to calls for white people to suffer from more diseases, such as poverty and racism. I predict Ebola will soon become the go-to excuse for kids wanting to stay home from school. And speaking of kids having to find excuses, let's go to our senior black parenting correspondent, Toby.
The NFL struggled to recover from child abuse scandals, with Commissioner Roger Goddell pledging to do the right thing this time, or his dad would hit him. Some players accused of domestic violence pointed fingers at the league for not suspending owners accused of their own scandals, in an admirable attempt by child abusers to take the moral high ground. And many football personalities went on record as saying they experienced corporal punishment and turned out fine, including O.J. Simpson, Aaron Hernandez, and Michael Vick's dogs. My prediction, the NFL can get back to the glory days when the only thing their players abused were substances. But until they address the core problem that their players have skipped class their entire lives in order to get hit on the head repeatedly, it'd probably be best if their families dressed like this. And now for the latest civil rights scandal, we go to the senior correspondent whose skin color I can't even see, Ola.
According to Django actress Danielle Watts, she was detained because she, a black woman, was kissing a white man and therefore mistaken as a prostitute. No trace of Hugh Grant was found on the scene. Pictures later surfaced showing that she may have been doing more than kissing. Eyewitnesses say she was at least rounding second base. She claimed she didn't have to give the cops her ID because she played one on TV, whereas they were pretty sure because they are cops in real life. Ironically, her refusal to give her photo ID now means everyone knows who she is and has seen photos of what she did. Even though she's been asked by local civil rights leaders to apologize to LAPD, I predict she will continue to insist she wasn't having sex and was in fact giving her boyfriend a freedom ride. For the latest on America's airstrikes in the Middle East, let's go to our senior, oh my god, we're not doing this again, correspondent, Toby.
Despite Obama promising not to deploy ground troops, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Martin Dempsey and Joe Biden said ISIS might not be able to be defeated without them, prompting Obama to immediately deploy General Dempsey and Joe Biden. The U.S. drafted plans to arm the more moderate members of the Syrian opposition, or as they're also known, Al-Qaeda. So will U.S. troops end up back in Iraq? I predict no, not as long as it's cheaper to outsource the conflict to Syria. But eventually, we're just gonna say fuck it and build drones that can walk. And now, for the latest in this show, let's go to our senior This Show Was Over correspondent, Ola.
See you next week. Share the video, subscribe to be truly ahead of the times.